Hey everybody, welcome to the set of notes for 3.3, looking at the economic impacts of the Industrial Revolution. So this is going to be your last set of notes for Unit 3, taking a look at how the Industrial Revolution impacted the economy. So your learning objectives for this video are to explain how industrialization influenced the economic systems of capitalism and communism, and list the differences between these economic systems of capitalism and communism. This is not going to be the last time we talk about these two economic systems. These will come up multiple times in our class. So let's get some economic basics down. When we're talking about capitalism, right, what does that word capital mean, right? We looked at factors of production. And one of those factors of production is capital. That simply means money. So anytime you're talking about capital, we're talking about money. Now, a market is basically where the exchange of capital happens. So this is where goods and services are bought and sold. So if you ever hear something like a free market or something like that, it's talking about kind of the economy itself. So you'll kind of see those words thrown around in this set of notes as well as in our class. Now, during the Industrial Revolution, two new economic systems are going to come about: capitalism and communism. So we're going to take a moment and kind of dive into what those mean. So first, we're going to see the rise of capitalism. And the reason why now, as opposed to before, is industrialization and the mass production on a very large scale and mechanization not only was very profitable, people were making quite a bit of money, but also it opened up some free time for people to do things with that money. So people are going to invest their money in manufacturing and in industries for the very first time. And what we start to see during the Industrial Revolution is social classes becoming more pronounced. So you have people becoming very, very, very rich, and you also have people that are definitely down in the lower classes of society. Now, capitalism kind of emerges as a result of this, right? This is that belief that people should be free to compete in the market or in the economy, and people should control their own factors of production. So the individual should control where they work, what they do with their money. The government really shouldn't be as involved in a capitalist system. And of course, this is going to be a system that is favored by those at the top of the social system, right? If you have a lot of money, you want to be able to keep that money. People should be able to compete, right? In this system, as we will see, you are rewarded for the work you do. So another word for capitalism or this type of system is a market economy or free enterprise, right? You should be able to, as an individual, decide what to do with your money, keep as much money as you can, and earn as much money as you can. In capitalism, the government is going to place few to no regulation or restrictions on businesses, right? A true free enterprise or capitalist system is going to have very, very limited government involvement. If you've ever heard of the phrase laissez-faire, that's what that means. Hands off. The government is not involved really in a true capitalist system. And in capitalism, people are rewarded for the work that they do, the ideas that they develop with earning more money, right? If you're successful, you'll make more money. And this creates competition. And in capitalism, competition is what keeps the system going, right? As people are competing for more money, they're making more ideas. New ideas that are good ideas make more money. So it's a cycle here. If you've ever heard or watched the show Shark Tank, that's kind of this capitalist idea, right? People are entrepreneurs. They're trying to come up with the next big thing to make as much money as they can. And we see Adam Smith, this gentleman right here, as the father of capitalism. He's going to really be the first one to kind of describe it and put in a name to it. And not he, but this system is also associated with a democratic government. So typically capitalist countries are also democratic, like the United States. So like I said, the United States is a capitalist country. Now, the main goal of capitalism is to make a profit. Okay, right? You're competing for the best ideas and the most money. And this has effects on workers during this time period. Now, to make a profit, you want to maximize that goal. You can do that a couple of ways. You can pay your workers less, right? If you pay your workers less, you get to keep more of that money. You can use children because children don't have to be paid as much. You can get raw materials at a cheaper price, right? They may not be the best quality, but as a capitalist, right, this idea that you can maybe skimp out on some of the resources to keep more money. You can also make a profit and make more money by not spending money on improving your factories, right? So yeah, maybe there's a couple light bulbs burnt out, maybe something needs updated. Just hold off a little bit because you can keep making more money. So you can see how during this time when there's no regulations on working conditions, this is going to be abused by people who are owning factories in order to make more money. Now, communism is going to be a response to the negatives of capitalism and the Industrial Revolution. So yes, industrialization is going to lead to capitalism, but this competition is going to create new problems. Social inequality, greed, people at the very top, poor working conditions, right? Because as people are greedy and want more money, they're going to be less likely to invest in good product, keeping the workplace safe, things like that. Communism is going to emerge as a reaction to this. And communism is an economic system where the goal is to distribute money, specifically power and resources, evenly or equally among the people. So in communism, equality is the goal versus in capitalism, where a profit or making a profit is the goal. Now, naturally, people compete, right? In a competitive system, there is naturally a winner and a loser, meaning there's naturally someone on top and someone on the bottom. So to do this and to make this equality, the government controls those factors of production, not the people. It kind of has to be forced by the government. So the government regulates the economy in communism. As a result, there is none of that competition. Everyone is the same. Everyone has the same amount in a true communist society. This is also called a command economy because the government is commanding every part of it versus a free or market economy where the people are controlling it. Now, unlike capitalism, communism is associated with dictatorships because the government has to, like I said, force this equality to happen. The best way to do that is to have a very strong leader, specifically one leader that can force it. So typically your dictatorships will often be communist. And you can look at North Korea in particular, modern day China as well. And if you want to go a little bit back into history, you can think about Russia or the Soviet Union. Those are communist countries. Now, there are quite a few reasons as to why there is usually a lower standard of living in communist societies than capitalist societies. Yes, they're living under a dictator, and we'll talk about how dictators get their power, but typically that is people are oppressed, their rights are taken away. But also, right, if there's no competition in the economy, if people aren't competing, there's no new products, there's no innovation, there's no advancement. So typically communist societies are slower to evolve and become more technologically advanced. So that's part of the reason why there's a lower standard of living in capitalist societies. And I should say, capitalism, communism does have a father that kind of is the founder, and that is Karl Marx. So Karl Marx, this guy right here, I've had some students say he looks like Santa. whatever helps you. He is the father of communism. So you'll want to make sure that you remember his name. All right, so in this video, we were explaining how industrialization influenced the economic systems of capitalism and communism, and listing the differences between these economic systems of capitalism and communism. So go ahead and answer the questions at the end of the video. Make sure you have your notes completed, whether they are digital or on paper, and let me know if you have any questions. See you later. Thanks for watching, guys.